What's up, Juventini? Welcome back to the AJC, your channel dedicated to Juventus. A big one today as there is massive points up for grabs as Juventus face Bologna away from home. Spalletti has to hit pause on his master plan, maybe just for this match before we can move forward with the changes he wants to see. And all the while, in the background, is Juve for sale? Elkin says no, but oh my God, this thing is far from over. We've got a ton to tackle. We're going to have a lot of fun today. I got Cliff and Paolo. I'm excited for this show. Fellas, how you doing? Paolo, how you doing, brother? Beautiful kit, by the way. Beautiful kit. Love that
Thank you very much.
Yes. Oh, yes, and the throwback with the pog boom. Love it. Love
Thank
it.
you
How you
very
doing,
much,
brother?
Bert. I'm doing great. Hi, Cliff. Good morning, everyone out there. Or good afternoon, or good evening. I'm doing great. Thank you. I'm excited about today, and I could be happier. I could not be happier.
There we go. There we go. And Cliff, how are you doing, brother?
I'm doing fantastic, guys. We're back on the stream. We've usually had winning streams when I've been on, so just saying, just saying. I think it bodes well. Snowing outside. We're into the winter mix right now, so I'm hyped.
There you go. There you go. And I love to see the positivity, especially while wearing Mets crew neck after they're getting rid of Pete Alonso. So yeah, how do you feel about
Thanks
that
for
one, man?
depressing me first. Thanks for depressing me first thing this morning. All of my teams are in shambles. What can I say?
There you go. There you go. Well, hopefully not Juve and not today, and hopefully they can take care of business. Love seeing the guys in the chat in here. While you drop in here, drop a like, okay? Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And for those of you tuning in through X, get over to YouTube, subscribe. We just put out the post. The December kit giveaway is live. It's a third kit with Kenan Yildiz on the back. Good luck to all our subscribers. And, of course, for our members in Legends tier, all right, you're up for the 120th anniversary kit. All right, a beautiful kit. So good luck to everybody. And ciao, Cugino Eddie, Alex UVFC, Forza Juve Eric, Yorio in there. And Alex P wasted no time. Wasted no time here with the hashtag Elcan out. All right, all right. We're going to rock and roll. We're going to get through all the headlines and, of course, take a look at this big matchup today with a big set of points up for grabs. Now, we're going to start off with some of the headlines. Fratesi. This thing just doesn't seem to be going away. 35 million euro price tag. Apparently he is unsettled. He is willing to leave in January. Juventus is looking at a formula that includes a expensive loan and offsetting the purchase of Fratesi. And then, of course, you have some rumblings about including a player. The first one that was put up there was Kefren Turam, and that's an immediate no. I don't even have to ask anybody. I mean, it's ridiculous. But then it gets to Locatelli, which is a different situation according to Nico Schira, painting the picture that Marotta appreciates Italian cores. Oh my goodness. Let's start off here with Fratesi in the first place. Is it a player that interests you in bringing him to Juventus? Let's start here with Paolo. First up, just Fratesi, before we get to involving players.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, I'm glad you directed me there because I was going to say anything to do with Inter is a no, an absolute no. I'm not interested in Fratesi. I've seen him come up a couple of times off the bench and do fairly well with the situation being right for him. I don't see him as being something we need. I don't see him as being the savior. I don't like his price tag or what else we could get for anything he would cost, et cetera, et cetera. Inter merda. No, thank you.
Yeah. And Cliff, do you have any interest in Fratesi and bringing him to Juve?
No, simple enough for me. I just don't think Fratesi's that good of a player. I don't really know what qualities Juve see in him. He doesn't do anything particularly well that stands out to me that would really change up this team, considering what we have currently on the side. And it would be a massive overpay to send Locatelli or Thuram over to Inter. I'd much rather the Thuram in Inter come over to Juve so we can get the brothers united. Um, but I don't see anything in Fratesi that really interests me, and I think the price tag isn't, it's not really favorable. So I agree with Paolo. I think this is just kind of a nothing burger, and I think this is fake news, to be honest.
I don't think it's fake news because he's wanted out for even before that. So I think Fratesi wholeheartedly wants out. He wants playing time. He's not getting playing time.
Yeah, maybe he wants to leave, but I don't think
Juve
Juve.
being interested, I could see them being interested for sure. I don't know about wanting to swap out Locatelli or Thuram, and
Yeah,
if we did swap out either one of those guys to bring in Fratesi, we deserve all the punishment we get in the league. I'll be
yeah,
like that's about as straight up as I could say it. If you're considering moving Loca or Thuram for Fratesi, we deserve all the punishment we get.
100%. Because the
It's
thing
that
is,
it's that
they're
simple. It
also
would
just
be
better
stupid.
players.
It would be stupid. You have no stabilizing mids like that could literally lock it down and clamp it down there. I know a lot of people believe Coat Miners can take that role and take that spot from Loca. I have not seen it yet to the degree where we would need it to be. Fratesi on its own, that is a 15 million euro player. Like flat out. Inter, obviously, this guy's never picked up to the terms where he can break through or get in there and get his minutes. Why are we letting them off the hook? Why would we even consider letting them off a hook for this guy? I don't like it at all. And I hope it doesn't happen. So, of course, time will tell. We're not far off from the window. I mean, we're already middle of December 14th. So, time will tell, and we'll find out very, very soon. But this is unanimous right across the board here. None of us like it. So, yeah, Fratesi, that's a no. Now, we get to a couple renewals. McKennie, wow. So, he's done it yet again, everybody. He's done it yet again, becoming this key cog for yet another coach. And the rumors say that it's a reason why Juve has meetings set up, coming up, to look at renewing McKennie. Now, the details that are being put out there are that, of course, we know his salary is around 2.5, 2.6. He wants double. He is looking for double that. So, thoughts on a McKennie renewal? Cliff, you start us off on this one.
Well, I think it's fitting I start off because I've been singing McKennie's praises for years, ever since my first stint at the AJC. I think McKennie's a great player. I think he's a great utility player that you could put anywhere. Um, and I think he's worth a lot to this team. You can't replace a player like him. Um, I do not think he's worth double what he's making now. I think maybe he's worth probably 3.5, maybe 4 on a short deal. But I think my problem with this is lock in Yildiz first before you look to lock in McKennie. I think that's my biggest issue with this. I know there's still a lot of rumors and talks around Yildiz, but I think McKennie's a great player. I would not pay him double. He should be not making 5+ million a season for what he brings. He's not an elite player. He's a player that, as we can see, can change games and help us get goals, but can also cost us matches with that header he had. I think it was in the Napoli match where he headed it in, or headed it in towards goal, and then we conceded. Um, so I would not give him. That's a long-winded way of saying let's not give him all that money, but I would like to see him still at Juve. Also, shout out, we have Vascamite 5477 from Australia. We love our Australian fans, so big shout out for watching from over there.
Oh yeah, we got a ton of support out there from Australia. Love seeing them in here. Paolo McKennie, your thoughts on this renewal and the talks about to commence?
I feel like we go through this all the time with him. Okay, there's a bunch of problems with him, with signing him and players like him. As far as McKinney goes, I think him doubling his wages is too much. I think we have a squad that has a lot of average players. I think McKennie doesn't start in any major squad in Europe. I think he's a great utility player. And if we had a solid starting 11 and he was a great player to bring in during the game to help sub out and give a guy a break, I'm all for it because he does come up with this magic every now and then. He is kind of versatile on the edges, up and down. He does come up with some goals. I don't think we have the luxury to pay him 5 million, 4 million, and I think we have a lot more work to do to make the roster stronger. That doesn't include him or probably 80% of our roster, to be honest.
If I'm looking at this, I've said it a million times over. Weston in the middle of the park, no thank you. So Weston on the outside, 5 million for a player on the outside, we could find better. We could find better players on the outside. I appreciate Weston as a utility piece. That's not worth that kind of money on our roster. It just isn't. We can't be paying a utility player that kind of money. You got to spread it out better. And if he's better on the outside, I'd still say go find an actual outside player and you'll pay less and you'll be able to put the extra into boosting the team elsewhere because we have several needs. So it's just not really lining up for me. And now going back to the guy we just spoke about, you can only have one of Weston or Fratesi after what went down with his sister. I mean, Weston was having a good time there. So, we don't want locker room trouble. Is Fratesi a better player than McKennie? If you're talking in the middle of the pitch, I would say yes. But if you're talking as more value to a team or a group, I'd argue that you might find more value in a guy like McKennie that says, you ask and I'll do it. I'll play anywhere. So they're not far off in terms of, what they could bring to a team in terms of value because you got to look at it. If you're talking about a midfielder, well, I would probably pick Fratesi over McKennie. If you're talking about value to a team, I'd actually make the argument McKennie's more valuable overall to a team because he could slot anywhere and fill a gap in the midfield, but I still say he's a better player on the outside. So it's one of those things. But if it's between the two, I'm still not looking Fratesi's way. If you want to boost in the middle of the park, I'm still not looking at that guy. And the valuation is way too high. So there's a lot going on here. But for Weston McKennie, I don't think we can give him that kind of money. I think it's going to come down to that. And I think with where we're spread right now, salary-wise, I don't think you can do it. I don't think.
And would either one be a starter to either of you? Would either one be a regular starter? Fratesi or McKennie?
That's the thing. I'm thinking no, to be quite honest. Even in a three-man midfield for you, if you're going three-man midfield, like right now, this second for Juve, Fratesi has a good shot of getting in there. Because he could be like that box-to-box on the side. He could do exactly what he does for the Azzurri whenever he gets called upon there, and that's have the freedom to attack the box. And he'll pick out some goals here and there, But long-term starter, I don't really know. Because, I'd say we still will always be looking to boost that position and whatnot. But it's a weird one with Fratesi. I'm not big on that. And Spalletti, we know, loves the guy. Loved him with the national team and everything. And are we going to start chasing these kind of guys for Spalletti and stuff? I don't know. Little underwhelming there. Cliff made the comment, Keenan Yildiz. Why don't we wrap that one up first? Well, we got some news. His family's in Turin. And a big part of that is obviously working with the father. Get the deal done. 6 million euros plus bonuses on top of that. Juve's got a new revamped offer for the player. And before Christmas, they want it wrapped up. That'd be a nice little Christmas gift for the fans. Wrap that thing up. Let's see. And we're probably going to find out if ambitions and all that has something to do with it. But You think this thing gets wrapped up before Christmas, fellas?
Um, just knowing Juve, I don't think it will. I hope it would be a Christmas miracle if it gets done before the holidays. But I I think all signs point towards Juve getting this done. I don't know if it will be before Christmas though. I want Keenan to go get a nice designer Pandoro for Christmas for his family. That's what I'm thinking. Get a really expensive bougie Pandoro from a local baker to celebrate the holidays after that big contract. That's what I'm hoping for.
Oh man, you think it gets done before Christmas, Paulo?
I think it could, and I think there's a lot of pressure on this club right now. And before the holidays, something like this is really useful for them and kind of necessary.
I think it gets done, and I actually believe a big reason is what went down with Tether and Elkan and all this. And I think this is like a, hey, you guys, we're on it. Have faith in us. Relax. Don't worry. I would not be surprised if this thing gets finalized really quick in the midst of all of this. Tether coming out with the 1.1 billion euro offer for Juve, and said they would instantly recapitalize 1 billion, another 1 billion into the club. Obviously, this has people fired. Holy smokes, 1 billion. We're buying everybody. No, it's not how it would work, obviously, but it would tackle all the debts we've been dealing with. It'd be able to put that money in multiple areas around the club. But Elkin comes out and immediately it's rejected. And it's stated that it's unanimously rejected by the board. And this is where things are going to get interesting because Tether is apparently being reported to get ready to double up the offer and then some. And they're making a big push. So Elkin makes this video, and we all saw it. I know we all saw it. This video, standing in this very hoodie, looking like the dude from Talladega Nights, not really knowing what to do with his hands. What do I do with my hands? And talking about Juve's passion while reading a teleprompter to the right. Guys, what did you think about... What did you think about Elkin's video and the response? Because this is kind of key because there have been extremely important moments that this club has been involved in over the past handful of years that they have never said a single thing about or made any type of statement whatsoever. And now at this moment in time, an offer that comes out and they just immediately reject. He felt the urge and the need to come out and make this video. That's actually pretty telling, I think, of everything that's going on right now, maybe behind the scenes. It's very, very interesting that he chose to come out and make that statement because they've been silent. We're accustomed to Juve remaining silent in big moments and during big events. What'd you think of that video? Let's start with Paulo.
It's really awkward. And he's kind of an awkward figure.
Big time.
I think his desire to keep the books balanced and do the diligence like a good accountant would is one of his qualities that is helpful at times. But to come up in front of a camera when he's been called out and the club has been put in the spotlight in this way by an organization that's walked in and thrown money on the table to say, hey, I'll buy you. It's a really interesting situation. And I think, if anything, what I like is that it gets Elkin out of his comfort zone because he's been hiding or he's been resigned to it for a long time. And I think his best qualities for this club have been realized, and that is helping us get on the straight and narrow, I guess, so to speak. But this is an example of how leadership can carry you, or it can lead you, or it can make you look more vulnerable. And it was interestingly necessary, but this is a family club, and I don't like the idea that the family is uncomfortable coming forward and representing us, whether it's a bad ref, whether it's Merda Inter accusations, whether it's Serie A, or whether it's some big balls walking up with a briefcase full of money. Come on. But that's
Yeah.
Elkin. And that's one of the things he's challenged with.
Now, you have some in the comments stating obviously he's socially awkward. No problem with him speaking for the club and family. It's not that I have an issue with him speaking on behalf of the club and everything. It's just, it's funny that you want to be absent through all this time and you're starting to get a spotlight shining on you. I've said this. I said, guys, if Juntali Mota crash and burn, the spotlight's going to come on Elkin. I called it last season. Here we are. You want to remain absent through all this time and then you want to make a video and act like, no, it's good. I'm here. I care, whatever. The passion, all this. I don't know. It's tough to believe.
Mm-hmm. And he can't send Comoli out there. He can't say, Comoli, can you please go talk to them about this? He can't do that.
The thing I would say for me is it feels a hell of a lot different than when it comes from a guy like Agnelli. I believed Agnelli. That's the difference.
Mm.
The biggest question mark that a lot of the fan base has right now with this guy is believing if he actually truly does give a shit. The reason the teleprompter is key, because I've seen it in the comments here. Nothing wrong with reading a teleprompter. Florentino Perez does too. Great. But Elkin's talking about passion. He's talking about his family heirloom here. He's talking about, I'm a fan of 30 plus years. I don't need a teleprompter if I want to explain to you why I love Juventus and why it's Juve to me. Agnelli wouldn't need a teleprompter to explain to you what Juve is to him. I'm not buying it. It doesn't feel genuine, and this is a feeling that many fans have had for Elkin for a long time. It comes down to what? You can't steer a ship from the shore. Why is he on the shore? Why has he always been on the shore? Does he care? A lot of fans are up in the air right now with Elkin. Cliff.
And it's not one other thing, Bert, it's not really his personality either. So I don't want to get on a guy for his personality not being what you want it to be when it comes to these situations, especially. But he's kind of run the club similarly from a distance, understated, just doing what he needs to when he has to. Curious, but sorry, Cliff, please.
Cliff, what did you think about the video? What are your thoughts on Elkin in general?
So there's so much to unpack here, but I think the main takeaway is I agree with Berto when he says that there's no, like, you shouldn't have to read a teleprompter to say how much you love Juve and why this is so important to their family and the club's personality and the passion that the fans have. The offer itself is low. I'm happy they didn't just take it and they rejected it. But then to have him come out, I think my biggest issue is him being the spokesperson. He is not a spokesperson. He is not the right guy to step up and say, be the spokesperson to say, oh, it's been in our family for generations and this is what Juve means to us. Like Berto said with Agnelli, maybe some people don't like things about Agnelli. He was always believable. He understood the DNA of Juventus, and you actually see the passion and that he cares about the club. He loves to put the club first. I don't think I get that same feeling with Elkan. You don't get that same, just feeling with him. And it seemed very, very fake. It didn't come, like, everybody was reposting it. Everybody from the Juve community was reposting it. And you could kind of see that everybody had the same feeling of, this is the guy who's supposed to be leading us forward. And it was just very melancholy, I think, to see that video.
There's rumblings that there's going to be more pressure put on him as these offers increase. You're absolutely right. The 1.1 billion is ridiculous for an offer to purchase Juve. As we dive into this, 65% on a poll that was ran said yes, Elkan should sell Juve. There's been some big figures around the world of Juve that have come out and said no. They're happy that Elkan is sticking to his guns, keeping it in the family. Platini is one of them. Buffon is another. Guys, we'll start with Cliff now, work our way back. Do you believe, and this is before we even get into Tether, do you believe Elkan should sell? Do you want to see Juve sold?
I think it depends on how much would be sold, how much of the club would be sold. We don't want there to be a majority ownership that's outside of the family, in my opinion, because it's been with the exception of this last couple of years, it's been run seamlessly through the Agnelli family. And I don't want to see the majority of it sold to an outside interest, somebody who has no connection to the club, no connection to the fan base. Minority ownership to get some cash injection, okay, that makes sense, but I don't want to see the majority ownership of the Agnelli family be pushed out because I think then you lose the identity of the club. You will lose a huge part of the fan base. There will be a huge part of the fan base that'll be happy we get all this money, but at what cost? So in my opinion, it depends on the amount that's being sold, what the price tag and the value of those shares being sold, how much that's being sold for. I saw someone make the point that if it's a Bayern or if it's a Madrid, a much bigger club, it could be 5 or 6 billion. I would not say we're at that high for Juve. I think depending on the valuation of how much is sold, I think maybe if it's like a 40 or 30% ownership stake, I think probably 2.5 is more fair. But I'm getting very technical, but I would say I don't want majority ownership being sold to an outside interest such as Saudi Arabia or like a digital currency.
I still think that's low because Milan sold for 2.1 and we actually own our stadium solidly on our own. We're still the biggest draw in Italy, period. And we still have per capita worldwide the biggest fan base. So I'd still say 2.5 ain't cutting it either. But that's a different story. Paulo, do you want to see Juve sold?
Absolutely not. And I think you said in your short, Bert, you said it poignantly, and that is we don't need the money. I mean, we want more money dumped into the club and the players, but we don't need the money. XR has money. The family has money. It's not a money issue. It's a leadership issue. So we don't need to sell. We don't need someone to come and give us their money, loan our money, to take any of the 65% majority ownership that the family still has in the club. We don't need someone to do us any favors. So no, I don't want it to be sold because it doesn't have to be sold.
So this is the thing. That's exactly how I feel. Like Juve does not have to be sold. Selling Juve doesn't automatically ensure that we just start ripping it up. Like, he's got to get the right people in the key positions. And this is one of the things. So Elka could take the heat and whatnot. And right now, he's got a new group. He made the decision for Comoli. But, yeah, pressure's going to keep mounting on this guy until we start moving in the right direction. Because since the board got dismantled, we haven't moved forward. But the biggest thing about it all, it's not about the money that you're bringing in. And when you look at Tether, it's not about that. Where is the innovation? How do you get the revenue up for this team? And this is a big thing besides leadership, like as far as the roles that he's putting in power. President, we need to stop nickel and diming at these key positions. You need the right head spearheading this whole thing, and you need the right president. You cannot cheap out in these roles. You shouldn't be cheaping out anywhere anymore. Like, that's the thing. And that's why the money is such a big thing that fans focus on and whatnot, is because we have been nickel and diming and cheaping out. And we did it with Coach on a million times over. but it is not about the money that you're bringing in. It's how do we bring the revenue up? Because if you're chasing these other clubs and you want to get better, Serie A's got shortcomings, but what is Juve doing? We have a list of ideas that Agnelli put into place that all helped bring revenue up. What has been done to increase revenue since Agnelli's been gone? Nothing. There is nothing. Now, where I get into, and that's just why there's doubts on him, Tether. We got to talk about Tether. So there's so much unknown here. So obviously, crypto company, right? And everybody has their feelings on that. The guys that are into the crypto world are like, this guy is huge in tech business, and they just keep evolving and just creating more and more. Tether, meanwhile, in the background, has never had a formal audit done, and that leaves everybody sketchy. You can't own Juve that's publicly traded and not have an actual audit and be able to back what you claim that you have in terms of resources. The other thing is, unless they're looking to privatize Juve. So that's a whole different ballgame. Then you look at Tether, which has purchased a lot of entities, and it has broken them up, and it has sold, and it has profited off selling. Would they be looking to do that with Juve? I don't think so, because all we're hearing about is how big a fan Paolo Ardoino is. Why do you come up out of nowhere now? You're such a big fan. Where's this guy been all this time? Tether's been around for quite some time, building itself up just out of the blue. Like, why are they so adamant about the takeover, and why are they creating the hostility? Like, that's the part that I don't get. Because we need a shirt sponsor. Guys don't want to dump some money, help us out on a shirt sponsor, maybe break the record for how much you're giving. Like, that would help us out a lot. But no, we want full takeover. Why does it have to be full takeover? Because in Elkan's video, he backed what he said out of the last board meeting, which was, we're open to collaborations. We're not selling all our shares, but we're open to collaborating. I don't know if I trust Tether at all. And I've been saying a million times over, the best case scenario for Elkan is to find somebody that is willing to help and put money into this team that could bring forth some fresh ideas and work with them. That's the best case scenario. You have your tradition, your family, your history, even though you're not living it on a day-to-day basis because our culture's shot and you got to rebuild that. But you have that, and then you have the financial. Do you trust Tether? Do you want Tether to be the owner? Cliff?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think you stated all the reasons from a business standpoint. It's a unknown in terms of like the audit. That's very, very sketchy. Also, like you said, where have they been this whole time? So for me, it just reinforces the statement that I want the Agnelli family to stay in majority ownership of Juve, because there is a tradition, whether you like Elkan running things or not, there is a tradition with that family, and there is a history. And I think that's what really matters to the fans. So for me, I'm not big on Tether. Hey, if we want a kit sponsor, that's fine. Sponsor the kits. I don't want Detroit being on the front of the kits. No disrespect to Detroit, but it doesn't look very pretty on the kits. That's just my 2 cents.
Paulo, do you want Tether to own Juve? Like, do you trust these guys?
They're a bit of an enigma because they've come out strong in the past year or two, collecting shares, getting a vote, and now coming forward in such a brazen way to just offer money like some kind of emperor coming in saying, I'm going to buy your wife. Here's some money. It's a really brazen and arrogant approach. So no, I don't feel good about a company that comes out so hard and so fast with so many questions being asked and publicly calls out the ownership and calls out the dignity and the reputation and the honor of a club by putting a briefcase full of money on the table. So it feels wrong on a number of levels. That doesn't mean that Tether doesn't have the money. It doesn't mean that Tether can't buy Juve several times over. It doesn't mean that Tether will do better with getting appointments with presidents, coaches, staff, attitudes, objectives, passion, desire to win and be the best in this league and own the league once again. It doesn't mean they can't do any of those things. But what still drives me crazy is that if Elkan and Exor wanted to, they could do those things, but they haven't. And now someone's come to the table and called their bluff. And I'm really glad that Elkan has to take off his jacket, wipe his mouth from his breakfast, and put on a sweater and talk about how passionate he is, because he's been long overdue in pushing this club ambitiously to be better, because it's never been about the money. With Serie A being what it is, you can only spend so much anyway.
Yeah. It's just money. It's not the money. It's the people. It's the people.
It's the ambition.
And I actually think all of this and, rattling the cage, so to speak, is good. I agree with Paulo wholeheartedly. This guy needs his cage rattled. It's like, dude, this Big isn't time. Just like, oh yeah, passed down through the family, whatever. Like, yeah, I just got to do this Juve thing. It's like, no, like you either give a shit or you don't. And again, nobody has to agree with me, but the video message, like, I appreciate addressing things and clearing it up for all the fans. I love it. I've always said Juve should provide more fan service. I appreciate that. It could have also been done with a written statement if you're going to come out here in some awkward style video. And yes, you are a socially awkward person in general, but like, Jesus. I struggle to connect with Elkan when he talks about values and passion, when we have seen a tradition like Villar Perosa tossed away because of battles amongst the family over inheritance and assets. Bullshit. That's why it's just, you know what? Rattle this guy's cage, because it has to be better. Has to be better. So stop telling me how much you care. Start showing me how much you care. And I'm not talking about just dumping this capital in every now and then and just being like, no, show me how much you care by being around all the time. Like being there and actually like living it, walking the walk, not just talking about it. Okay? Now, with this all in the background, is it going to have an effect on the players, the matchup today? Do we think like this is the last thing we should have while we're in a pretty somewhat of a rough start to the season? 3 points less at this point than we were last year. 6 or 7 goals scored less, like just as many question marks. Second coach already. Now you get into this. And Bologna, fresh off a Bernardeschi brace to win a game. Holy smokes, flashbacks. Let's get into this game, everybody, okay? And yes, there's a watch-along today, 20 minutes before kickoff. So, you've got Bologna. They haven't beaten Juve in 26 Serie A matches. This goes back to February 26th of 2011, okay? They haven't won at home against the Bianconeri since 1998, since they've beaten Juve at home. Do not shoot the messenger if anything happens today, everybody, okay? I'm just going to put that disclaimer out there right now, okay? Lasciami stare. Leave me alone. This is Bologna's second best start to a Serie A season in the 3-point era, okay? only managing better than their current tally of 25 points after 14 matches in the 2002-2003 season. And a win today would officially see them better than that start, and it would be their best start to a Serie A season. They obviously have recently moved 2 points above Juve in the standings after draw actually with Lazio 1-1, and they won, as we talked about on Thursday night, against Celta Vigo in Spain with Bernardeschi, a second half brace. In all competitions over the past 6 matches, Bologna has 4 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw. Heading into this matchup, they are going to be without Freuler, Vidic, Casale, and actually Skorupski is expected to be out due to injury. So we look at this projected lineup for Bologna, and there you have it. So backup keeper in goal. Zorte, Egom, Lykogiannis, Miranda, that's your backline. Ferguson and Moro, Orsolini, Odgaard, Cambiaghi, and then Dalinga up top. So 4-2-3-1 setup, pretty standard of Vincenzo Italiano. Okay, now we're going to rip through for Juve. Hey, it's getting better. Is Napoli just a blip or not? 4 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw in all competitions. The exact same form as Bologna heading into this game. For injuries, we do have Bremer and Rugani back on the squad list. Will they be getting some minutes in this? Most likely. I would expect Rugani to probably come in here. I don't know so much about Bremer. But I think one of them will get some minutes pretty quick here. We know that Gatti is out. We know that Vlahovic is out long term. And I don't know if anybody heard the news because there's been so much else. But Milik is back, everybody. Milik is back. Oh!
It's a party.
It's a Festivus miracle, man. It's a Christmas miracle. Milik is back. Holy smokes. Never thought I'd see the day. So Milik is back training with the group. Unbelievable. So maybe J Medical has taken another soul that is planned to see happening pretty soon to make up for it. But we always know what happens at J Med. If it releases a soul, it always pulls one back. But Milik has been training now with the team. If you're getting to your projected lineup, this is it for Juventus. This is what's expected. So Chico Conceição gets back into the starting 11. It is expected to be David. Apparently it was between David and Openda for Spalletti. And I don't expect it to be exactly this. If there's one thing we can bank on with Spalletti, is that there's usually a surprise. There's at least one surprise in the lineup, but it's pretty straightforward. Di Gregorio, Kalulu, Kellyco, Miners, McKennie, Locatelli, Thuram, Cambiaso, Chico, Yildiz, and David. That's the starting 11 that's projected for Juve. Now, guys, I want to get your thoughts going into this matchup, how you think it's going to go, what you believe Juve needs to do in order to succeed here. And keep in mind, everybody, that we are the ones away from home, and we are out of 7 matches away from home, 2 wins, 2 draws, 3 losses. So anything but road warriors. We're obviously much, much better at home. So guys, what do you think about this game? What do you think about that lineup? What do you think are the keys to victory for Juve? Who wants to kick us off?
I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna take this one. Sorry, Paolo, I just jumped in there. Al, can you bring up the graphic again for Bologna?
For you, Cliff, my life. Here you go.
I appreciate it. That's you, I wanted to see Bologna.
Oh, what? No, you can't see that.
Well, thank you, Berto. So really, when looking at this lineup, the thing that scares me the most is on their left side, saying Juan Miranda, Moro, and Cambiaghi. I think that's going to be. I mean, obviously the ratings are very telling. That's the most dangerous side for me. Obviously, Ferguson and Orsolini on the other side, really, really good. But Juan Miranda is a really, really tricky player, and I think he can give Juve a lot of trouble on their left side, on Bologna's left side with Cambiaghi and Moro, who's a very underrated midfielder on that team. I think that's where it's going to be really key. And for me, when I looked at Juve's lineup, although I really like Cambiaso on that left, I try to be a true leader every time I can. Um, although I like Cambiaso on the left, to keep him away from that very attack-minded side of Bologna, I would rather see Cambiaso on that side, on the right side of Juve's lineup, and maybe see either McKennie shift to the left or seeing Cabal play on that left side. I think that's where the kind of surprise will be from Spalletti. I think Cambiaso will start on the right. I think Cabal will come on the left. And I think if Juve can really play off that counter, because Bologna are going to commit a ton of numbers forward, they can overrun that midfield and play through with that two-man midfield of Bologna and really get through on the counter and find a lot of opportunities going forward. So I think that's a very long-winded way of saying I think Juve's key to this match is on the counter and really being forward-thinking and attacking. I know Alex doesn't like the Cabal shout. I think Cabal is a better player than he's shown, and I think he'll start to pick up some form in this match if he gets some playing time. I don't think Bremer gets a lot of time. I think Rugani gets a late sub for maybe 10 or 15
Yeah.
minutes.
Paulo, what do you think the keys are going to be to victory for Juve here, and how do you feel about this matchup?
I think it's a winnable game. If you look at the way Bologna's performed, the one thing that's risky is that Bologna's at home and they perform well against better teams. They keep their defensive shape. They're a bit stingy, and Orsolini could be the problem for me. When I looked how Napoli took advantage of Coop on that left side, I wonder if they're going to try and exploit that left back spot as well. Um, and for Juve to do well, they have to not do what they did in Napoli, which is try something new from Spalletti at the last minute. They need to go in there like they did in Champions League and like they did against Udinese. They have to go in there on attack, front foot forward, and they have to press from the beginning, full press, send everybody high, strong, attack, win first balls, move the ball quickly. They need to get a jar, right? So if you pass it back, you put 1,000 in the jar. If you pass it to the left or right, you put 1,000 in the jar. If you hold on to it more than a second, you put 1,000 in the jar. They need to be on the front foot and attack the whole game, and they have to get the first goal, and they have to get it early, and then they have to sustain that. So I think if you go aggressively against Bologna, and they're at home, and they're going to try and probably be more conservative and safe and want to win this game or at least get a point, you have to disrupt them and go and get on the front foot, get an early goal and attack, and watch out for if they try and replicate any advantage against Coop. I think Orsolini is probably the biggest danger for me.
Tell you what, man, if that was the rules for the jar, I'd love to be in charge of that jar because I'd be a millionaire with Juve this season already. Yeah, I mean, when I look at the starting lineup, I actually like the starting lineup. I don't think I'd probably change too much with it. And the reason is because we've talked about it earlier on. This is kind of a waiting game now for Spalletti. And he's obviously come out and pretty much stated it that a four-man backline is the game plan eventually. So for this game, until you get those guys at the back fit and ready to actually contribute solid shifts, yeah, three-man backline it is. Kelly, Co-Miners, Kalulu, that's exactly what I would do. I still have questions about just two in the middle of the park. Yildiz and Chico, these guys are going to have to do a lot of work in helping account for the fact that there isn't a third midfielder in there. So if you're pushing both high like that, you almost have to make a decision as one to just kind of be that extra bit of help in the middle of the park and pushing us forward. And I actually do believe Chico could do the job and you could cheat more with Yildiz because Bologna plays a very straightforward game, okay? But it's a game that can create a world of trouble for a team like Juve if what Paulo said doesn't come to fruition, and that's the right tempo. If we are slow, if we are labeled in passes and predictable, it's going to be a rough day at the office for Juve if we are going to play a slow, predictable game. So we really have to be ready to go right from the outset. But Italiano loves to press high and win that ball back and push forward. You have to find a way to hurt him. 3 midfielders. If it ain't going to be a midfielder, utilize probably Chico and cheat a bit with Yildiz and let Yildiz and David maybe try to attack a bit. And you're going to have to cheat with one of your outside players. One of your outsides is going to have to cheat too, because they get up there and after it. So it's kind of tricky how much we want to invite, given that over the past couple games, it's starting to look a little bit shaky at the back again, even with guys that were doing good up until that point. I don't know how much you want to invite from Bologna. So at the outside roles, pace is going to be big. And the sad thing is that Joao Mario is pretty much might as well be injured, because it doesn't look like he's ever going to be utilized. It looks like in January he is going to take off, and all the rumblings are to that. But pace on the outside is going to be big. One of those guys you're going to have to look to cheat with to give those guys a little bit of support. Otherwise, we're just going to leave them high and dry. Teams that press high, you get the ball up, they swarm you with that high back line. We're going to have to be very, very sharp and on point. So we'll see how it all plays out. If you want to keep these guys 3-4-2-1 and keep Yildiz and Chico to do the work more to the perimeter, I think you might lose that battle right in the heart of the pitch. And it could be troublesome. So it's an interesting one. But yeah, Juve, I want to see them go at them right out of the gate. And I don't want to see us give them too much. I'll be quite honest. If you want the transition, they like to transition as well. By winning that ball, they just try to win it up high and then turn it on you, right? If you can possess well and hold them back, you'll actually be okay against Bologna. But are we going to be able to do that? Are we going to be able to do that and control this game against them?
And you know what'll be interesting, Bert, is what happens with Coop, Thuram, and Locatelli if Thuram and Locatelli start. Because Locatelli, as much as I'm not anti-Locatelli, I kind of like him. I like him for a bunch of steady Eddie reasons. But he slows things down, and he likes to get back in the back line and look around and move things slowly and be patient and careful, right? And I find when Locatelli is the most dangerous is when he's making those long switches, those stretch passes, when he's moving the ball quickly and he's surprising the other team. So I want to see Locatelli do more. I want to see him move up. I want to see him feed quickly. And I don't want him hanging back, because what Coop has done well, and he's been my man of the match almost indirectly in the past couple of games, is that he can move in and he will pass that ball quickly and he will run forward with it and he'll make long stretching passes on the ground, in the air. He'll find Yildiz. And in the past couple of games, you've seen Yildiz doing this a lot. Like, where's the ball? Guys, where's the ball? People are taking too long to pass it, and when they take too long, the window's gone. And one thing that Coop has done is he's found Yildiz. He's seen him and he's found him. So if Coop gets in front of the two wing backs, if he gets in front of Kelly and Kalulu and they collapse in a bit, and he's able to be that distributor, he has to take advantage of that ability he has and get it figured out with Thuram and Locatelli if they're okay with it, because we can't have Coop, Locatelli hanging back with Kalulu and Kelly and all of them standing in this line figuring out who's going to run this game, because that's where we're going to get in trouble and we're going to lose any opportunity we have to be aggressive. Locatelli and Coop
Bologna's gonna hone in on Locatelli because they're playing a 4-2-3-1. So this isn't gonna be the game for him to play that way. It's not gonna be the game for him to grab one and spray it out, unfortunately. So it's gonna have to be the other guys that break the lines. Usually that's what happens. If you face a 4-2-3-1 and you predominantly have a deep lying like playmaker or pickup guy, whatever the hell you want to call him, right? They usually get ruled out by the opposition's 10. So then these other guys are going to have to pick it up. So Kalulu and Cope Miners are going to have to be guys that move that and quickly and find guys. And that's why I say one thing that has to stop, it has to stop, that Juve does, is rush forward. You can't rush forward too early. You have to build up together. And when you're facing the press like that, if we want to just bomb it up to one or two guys, that doesn't work either. So like they're going to have to be patient, work together, and find these passes and find each other and create that breathing room. The second you have that breathing room, then you advance, right? So it's going to be one of those things, but I've hated our game, and that's not even against teams that like to press high. Juve in general bombs forward, and all these guys, we can't find them. We can't find them. It's like we're not going to pass through a maze of players to be able to find you. Take your time. I've said this a million times. Our midfield is so inefficient because they never play together. You never see the midfield just bang, 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 making 3, 4, 5, 6 passes together and moving up the field. You never see it. It's the most inefficient play I've ever seen from a team. We have to get better at that. And that's why I've been a big guy fighting for Miretti getting in there, because he just kind of is that guy for the others to like hit and be able to work through, and then we can advance, right? So today, you have to find that in one of Yildiz or Chico. Like you can't just have the 3-4-3. I hate it. I like three midfielders in there. So play it more like a 3-4-1-2. So Chico, or even if you want to use Yildiz there, push Chico advance. He could probably take advantage with his pace of a backline that likes to get high from Bologna. Something to watch out for. Who would be your player to watch for Juve in this game? We'll start with Cliff, then get Paolo's. Cliff, player to watch for Juve.
I think the player to watch for me is, always it's going to be Yildiz. I think Yildiz is going to be so key to this match. But I guess
What the fuck's he doing
my
now?
secondary shout, whatever he does with his hands.
Do it with the fucking
Yeah, I think for me, and then Alex put it in the chat perfectly. I think my secondary person to watch is McKennie. To your point, I would not be surprised if Spalletti tries to defensively shift McKennie back and make it essentially a makeshift four-man backline. Shift Chico to the right and then shift Yildiz in, so it essentially becomes a 4-4-1-1 defensively. So you have more defensive shape. You have the outlet in Conceição on the right. You have Yildiz centrally, which we've seen him do really well in. And then the attack, he can start to shift wider. Chico pushes up back into that more attacking position, and then McKennie joins back in. So I wouldn't be surprised if Spalletti tries to work in the four-man backline in some respect, maybe on a defensive standpoint. But to answer your question more directly, Yildiz, and then McKennie is my secondary man to watch.
Okay. Paolo, players to watch for Juve.
It's going to be either Coop or Locatelli. I want to see who's going to run the game. Like you said, you can't just run up and have 22 people meet in the box. You have to find a way to move up close together, compact, and pass back and forth quickly to go up as a group and then manage as a group and strike at any time because you're in close contact and quick possession. And I guess we'll see. For me, it'll be between Coop and Locatelli to see who wants to run the show today.
All right. For me, I'm going to try to manifest something. It failed miserably the last time I tried to manifest it for Miretti, but god damn it, Kefren Thuram, I need you to wake up. I need you to wake up, man. You cannot be that tall, that have strides like that, and just play like a mouse. I need you to put in a shift, okay? So I'm going to say Thuram. Let's hope that he starts to show us the guy he is, that he was last season, because, man, he showed you how high that ceiling could be. There is a player there, one hell of a player.
Oh, yeah.
We got to get it out of him. So hopefully today is the day. Let's say Thuram, but Cliff's absolutely right. Yildiz is always going to be one to watch. And Loca and Co Miners, I'm going to stand firm, like to back Paolo's point, that when things get settled, you know, until Thuram does that and starts finding it consistently again, I'm wholeheartedly backing Co-Miners and Locatelli playing in the midfield with an advanced midfielder and making that midfield triangle for us. So, yeah, essentially making like a 4-3. You could play it so many different ways. You could call it a 4-2-3-1 even.
I
Okay?
like that.
And Yildiz on one side, Chico, Jagrova on another, David, Openda rotating up top. But Openda, I also wouldn't mind playing on one of the sides in a 4-2-3-1, to be quite honest. But Locatelli and Co-Miners eventually, I think, should take the reins and until Thuram gets her going. And there's going to be games where you want to go a flat 3 midfield, and Thuram will have his opportunity to be the one that drives the game out of the middle of the park. But I need this guy to have a big game. Guys, it's time to make the call. Predictions, final score, okay? And then give me a couple tiebreakers. I will, in honor of Mr. Skanga, set the tone with the official. Massa. Davide Massa. You'll know exactly who this mud is. Actually, it looks like Fratesi, to be quite honest. So Fratesi, maybe trying to help out Juve here. 228 Serie A appearances, 4.9 yellows per game, 49 reds, 67 PKs. That is Davide Massa. The last time that he has officiated a Juventus game, when did we see him last? The Lazio 1-1 draw. The one that had the red card in there as well for Juve, and that was the red card on, was that Kalulu? That was Kalulu, I believe, that red card. So it's Davide Massa, and yeah, he stinks. Guys, final score, 2 tiebreakers. Paolo, do the honors.
Oh, gosh. Okay. I'm going to go 2-1 Juve. We can't keep clean sheets very well, so I'm not going to assume one. I think I want to think David is going to get a goal, and I think David needs time. He needs time with Chico and Yildiz, and he needs proper starting every week, game time. So I want to look to see a bit of chemistry up there and see that grow. I think David, that goal, by the way, that he got to seal the 2-0, that wasn't an easy goal. Now it looks like it on TV, but when you look at the aerial view, he's actually almost lining up to the right post. He's not center down the pitch. So that's a nice goal, the way he spun it round without overthinking it and tucked it in that far corner where there wasn't much room on that angle. So I think David's coming around. I want to see him get a goal. And I still think that there's something going on with Coop on the rise. I'm going to put him in for a goal. I want to see him take a free kick or have a shot from outside the box, getting in deep. And I'm going to say a Coop goal, a David goal, 2-1. And yeah, I think that's it.
Nice.
Or do I need one more thing?
No, you're good.
Okay.
Cliff, fire
I'm
away.
gonna go. This match screams 2-2 draw for me. I feel like it's going to be really open this match. There's going to be a lot of goal scoring opportunities. Like Paolo said, we can't keep a clean sheet to save our lives. So I'm going to go 2-2 draw. Tiebreakers, I think Yildiz scores, and I think Openda comes on in the 67th minute and gets a sub goal. I think he's going to get on some sort of counter attack, and he's going to be open. I think he's actually going to score a nice goal. I think he's getting an opportunity, and his confidence is going to be there, and he's going to finish it. So that's my bold prediction for this match. Also, I think 5 yellow cards.
Okay. 5 yellows. Oof. Rough one. Okay. Let's get some of these predictions out of the chat. Let's see where the Army's at here. We got a 1-0 Juve victory. All right. Taking it back old school. Cortomuso. Ryan with a 1-1 draw. We got Alex Juve FC 2-0. David and McKenny and a red card for Bologna. Okay.
Oh, nice.
2-1 Yildiz and McKenny. McKenny with a red. But Juve wins too. Holy, so people are seeing red today. Might be just Christmas. Juve 3-1 victory from Skippy. 3-2 Juve victory. 2-2 draw. Michael G's on the Cliff train there with 2-2. 1-0 Juve victory from Aldo. 2-0. We got a 2-0 here. We got a 2-1 Iceman or Openda with Yildiz. We got 2-1 here. David and Chico Kalulu OG. Hey, got to get on the scoreboard some way, all right? Look, I am going to go with... Oh, man. I actually do think Juve wins this game. And I don't think there's going to be much separation in this. I don't have the belief of a clean sheet away from home. We've looked at Juve's away record. It isn't the strongest, so, and just defensively how we played. So I'll give Bologna 1 goal. Man, do I feel maybe like just a barn burner 3-2, 5-goal? 3-2 game? It might be. 2-1. 2-1 Juve victory. I'll go there. I'm not going to go too wild. I actually believe that with Davide Massa, you'll see over 5 yellows. I think you'll see over 5 yellows. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe somebody sees double yellows. So let's call a red card. We'll call somebody gets sent for a red. And I'm going to say that
D. Gray gets a red.
No. Don't say these things, guys.
No.
It's fine. It won't happen.
Jesus Christ.
If
you know who's got a yellow now, though? You just got a yellow, Cliff. Actually, I'm going to put David down for 1. I am going to put David down for 1, but I'm also going to say that you get a rare goal from one of the mids there, and let's put fucking Thuram down for 1. Let's put Thuram down for 1, okay? Let's go.
I like it.
David and Thuram. Listen.
Oh, there you say Thuram with a red card, break someone's leg.
Now.
Oh, man. Jeez, Cliff.
Cliff, what's the matter with you? I know the Mets got rid of Alonso. Deal with it, all right? Settle down. Now.
It's ruining my mood.
One thing that Paulo touched on that is part of his prediction, and it's Coat Miners on set piece. Can we sort set pieces out?
Oh my god.
That last game was embarrassing. Like, that was below Sunday League, man. That shit doesn't even happen in our rec leagues. Sort it out. I don't want to see you. You know when you can get cute? When you're fucking good. When you're locked in, you're loaded, and everything is just boom, 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 boom. Like, we got so much chemistry. We're oozing chemistry. Yeah, we can get cute on set pieces. We're not there. Keep it simple. Put that damn ball in the mixer. Get it over your first friggin' defender and attack that damn ball. I am so sick of our weak ass set pieces. It's unacceptable for a professional club. Period. Corner kicks. It's a joke when earlier in the season we saw Jagrova and Adzic fucking arguing late in the game where we're sitting there draw. You want to win the game. You want to overtake. And those two are having a pissing match over who's going to take this thing. I would have lost my mind if it was a coach. Sent them both packing and just
absolutely
fucking done.
Absolutely.
No more 2 guys on corner kicks. Designate your actual kick takers and make sure they can goddamn deliver the fucking thing. Okay? Like, I'm so sick and tired of set pieces. And Coat Miners, for me, if it's in shooting range, let the guy have a shot. Let the guy start taking them and have rips.
He's got a cannon. He's got a cannon.
Let him go. And yeah, you might hit the wall on one, whatever. Like, it happened in the last match, and people are like, see, he can't even take it. It's like, relax. Until he hits the wall 1,000 times in a row like Ronaldo did, I'm still going to give him the set pieces on this team right now, okay? Let Coop start shooting them. I got to see it. Now, Storm the Barn's coming up, but we've got Cliff with a segment. Off a Cliff is the name of this segment. I'm going to let you take it from here, brother.
Alrighty, so this is going to work a couple ways. It's going to change each time I'm on the show. So this week's Off a Cliff segment, I'm going to pick a team, a player, and a coach, and we're going to decide if they're going to be going off a cliff based off recent performances or if they're staying on the cliff for the time being. My first take, and I think everybody will agree with this one, I think this is a pretty easy one, starting things off easy. Como after their 4-0 loss to Inter. I think they're staying on the cliff for now. I don't think it's time to panic yet with Como. I think they're a really good side, and these are not going to be Juve based. These are for the league as of right now. So these are league wide. I think Como are staying on the cliff. Um, it sounds really weird to say, but what do you guys think? Do you guys agree that Como is going to stay on form even despite that 4-0 loss to Inter, or do you think they're going off a cliff?
No, they're not going to go off. I'll say they'll still stick around where they're being. But Shesh Fabregas sure took a hit in my books with his words after the Inter game. I'll say
Hmm.
that. But no, they'll
Yeah.
be in and around the mix. My preseason prediction was they would make European play next year, and I actually believe that they will. So I'm gonna say they are safe.
Okay.
Paulo?
I agree with everything Bert said. I don't know, and I had them as well to finish in the top five. I don't know if they will though. Things might get a bit harder for the second half of the season for them as they start to get more familiar with what they do and how they do it. But they're going to be around. I think they're fine. They have a good attitude and they work hard.
Okay, that's awesome. And this is going to be a really tough one. I came up with this one last night, and it's going to hurt my soul to mention this. Paulo Dybala, with all of the talk that he might leave Roma in the winter, do we think he is falling off a cliff and he is done in Serie A, or is he still going to stay in the league? Paulo, I'm going to go with you first.
What a great name, Paulo. I don't think he can stay healthy. I honestly don't think he can stay healthy, and it hurts me to say that because he's such a wonderful, wonderful talent and a great Juventini. But I don't think he can stay healthy. I think the cliff is their cliff.
Okay. And Al?
Is it on his play and form, or are we talking about just if he stays in the league?
Well, I think it's a bit of both. Is it just his form and ability to stay healthy, and does that leave him to have to leave Serie A in
Like I
terms
think
of
he,
getting
if we're
playing time?
talking form and play and stuff, and just like his body and stuff, I'm gonna say off a cliff. I'm gonna say
Yeah.
it's off
Do
a
you think
cliff,
he's out of
man.
the league by winter?
I think so. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
You know where I could
That's
see Paolo going? I'll be quite honest.
Fenerbahce.
He's man, he's gonna want. I could see him going to MLS. I could see him
Hmm.
going to MLS.
I
He
could.
loved Miami with old Pogs there, and he
Mm,
likes the scene. He likes the sports around it, the sports cities, the big sports cities. One day, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
okay. Okay, I like it. Then this last one's an interesting one because they've been kind of up and down throughout the season. Palladino at Atalanta.
Oh,
Do you think he's off a cliff based off recent performances, or do you think that Atalanta under Palladino can make that run and make things more interesting going through the rest of the season? I'm gonna go with Al first.
I well, it's definitely better than Juric.
Hmm.
Palladino actually he can get quite a bit out of not much if you're looking at rosters. So, and if I look at their roster, he's got more than what he had previously that he was able to do decent with. So, I think he's going to do actually really well to close out the season with Atalanta. And I'm not going to say that it's off a cliff and it's just going to be the same old Atalanta. I believe they'll be much stronger. And I think that they'll definitely climb. Where are they sitting right now?
I think they're in
Um,
10th.
yeah,
They're
so
low.
they're down there in the league. They're doing well in Champions League, funny enough.
Hmm.
So in the
Hmm.
table, Atalanta 11th on 19 points. With Palladino, they're in the discussion for like sixth by season's end, fifth, sixth.
Hmm.
They're in that range. I would make that statement.
I agree. I agree. Paolo, what do you think?
Well, as usual, I agree with Berto. Um, I think they're going to do fine. They've got a bye right now for Champions League. So I don't know what's going on, but they're doing fine in Champions League.
It's
They're going to
crazy.
climb the table. I think they're going to spend the rest of the season climbing the table, and we're going to have another problem to think about
Yeah.
come come the last 10 games of the season, because I think Atalanta could be right there with us, and it's going to be a real headache. I think
Yeah.
they're fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want a fourth, Berto. Do I get a fourth?
It depends. You've
Okay,
been pretty aggressive today with some of the shouts around the game with the Reds and stuff. So what is it? Let's go. Let's go.
it's Rafael Leao leaving the league at season's end. Is that statement off a cliff, or are we buying that statement?
Man, I felt like he's should have done it several times already. I feel like it's a matter of time, to be honest. So I don't think it is off cliff. I'd actually believe it, to be honest.
Okay. What do you think, Paulo?
I don't know what his contract situation is right now, but he's been auditioning for the limelight somewhere
Yeah.
else for years. And if he stays
Hmm.
healthy and keeps that lovely smile on his face and plays the way he can play, he could land at a lot of big clubs and they'd be happy to have him. He's a bit of a, a glass player, but he's dangerous and talented. And I think he's dying to make a splash somewhere in the EPL, or we'll
Hmm.
see. But yeah, I think he's dying to go somewhere and make a splash.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I'll tell you what. To end this segment, my take, I think Pulisic is clear of Leao just from work rate alone. Leao is more gifted, I think, but I think Pulisic is a better overall player with attitude and work rate. So I could see Leao making a run at maybe say even an Arsenal and being very, very good on a team like that and making that squad better. But that's my 2 cents. I hope you guys enjoyed the Off a Cliff segment with Cliff.
We like it. We like it. Great job, Cliff. Great job, Cliff. Okay, we are gonna get a couple Storm the Barns going, and then yeah, we'll take it from there. Okay, let's try and fire some of these out. We got about 10 minutes. 10. Let's see what we got. Which players benefit from our current 3-4-2-1 system? Are they the players you choose to focus on? Who's benefiting right now in this setup, in your opinion? Paulo.
That's tough to say. When we talk about the lineups, I get kind of frustrated because we don't have a lot of depth, and we're putting guys like McKennie here. We're putting guys like Thuram in because we need to, and the choices aren't really there. So I think the people who benefit from this setup right now is probably a Cambiaso being able to play higher up. He's been an offensive midfielder when he was young, so I think he loves to get his nose closer to the box and find the net. So I think he is someone who could benefit from this formation right now, is just being higher and not being stuck at the bottom left corner in a four back.
Yeah. Yeah. Cliff, who do you
Yeah.
think's
I
benefiting
think
right now?
I think it's clearly the center forwards or whatever you want to call them with Yildiz and Conceição because they have that freedom to really do whatever they want. They can push in, they can stay wide. I think in a system like this, those players just love that because they basically have the variety to roam however they want. So you can become an interior, cam if you want, a Yildiz who likes to push in, or Conceição, you can push wide and be a true winger. So I like to play forward. I like to play as a forward when I play soccer. So that's something that I would love. I love having that freedom to be kind of like a free roaming central forward. So I think those are the two players that really thrive in a system like this.
Yeah. I think right now I'm just going to answer the question with not enough. Not enough players are thriving, in my personal opinion. And I think that if you're talking about guys thriving in this setup, it's through individual status as to why they're thriving. So I don't think I've wholeheartedly have felt that the system isn't bringing out the best in the group. And that's how I feel about it. So yeah, I think there's very few that are actually like really benefiting from it. You could say Cope Miners benefited from it, playing further back and being able to see the game ahead of him and, get back into some type of confidence that he's picked up. But I think the play is to try to get him back into that middle of the park. Yildiz is Yildiz, man. Like, that kid is talented as hell. Like, he's not going to it's not going to matter what system you're doing for him, right? But when you're looking at like the midfield clicking and getting the best out of the strikers, etc., like there's a lot lacking. So I'm just going to say not enough. Big up to Giuseppe. Love it, man. Gifted 5 AJC memberships. Bravo, bravo. Love to see it. Love to see it. Great stuff. Good vibes on the match day. Let's go. When asked, the panel was keen on bringing Ramos in light of the rumors, but when talked about Verratti, they seemed doubtful. Do you agree with it? And could you explain why? I could explain to you why I have reservations and why I'd be for one. Look, I'd be for both of them. I haven't seen anything near enough of Verratti to have any confidence in his physical ability to help us out enough and, you know, for the grind and whatnot. And again, if the details were right, I probably still would say, welcome aboard, Marco, because I've always loved him as a player, and I think he's a gifted player. Great midfielder. He would definitely help. But there's so many unknowns there about it. With Ramos, you know what you're going to get. Like, if you're talking about, I can put him up comfortably if I'm talking about training regimens and physicality and like the body and like the belief in him physically with the likes of Ronaldo. If you're going to talk about training regimens and taking care of their bodies and everything and what they do. Dude's an absolute prick. But if the details were right, I'd do it too. I'll tell you. Like, these guys, Juve has to put some type of importance and significance to experience. Like they really do at some point. But again, if Ramos is looking for 2 years and like 9-10 mil, sorry, man. That ain't going to cut it, right? But yeah, like the reservations on Verratti, why more reservations there? Because he's been playing far away to the point where I haven't even seen him and I still hear about all these injuries, right? So that's just me. Guys, I know Cliff where he stands on Ramos. It's just flat out no, absolute no. But like, you know, Verratti, is it just the details, boys? Would you be a yes for Verratti if the details fit?
No.
Cheap deal? Not a lot of commitment. You're still a no?
I'm still a no. That hasn't changed for either one of those guys.
All right. You are something else today, Cliff. I'll tell you that. You're something else today. Paolo.
I would take both in a heartbeat for the year. And here's why. Because Verratti's going to sort out that whole Thuram. I mean, assuming he's healthy and he can play. He's going to sort out that whole Thuram-Moretti problem. Number one. Ramos is a big super prick, a super jerk. He's going to sort out some of the problems we have in our box, whether we're defending or whether we're trying to score a header off a corner kick. He's going to sort some of that stuff out. So taking care of two issues that are big issues for us. Number one is depth and experience. And number two is having some kind of presence in either box and figuring out who wants to run our game in the midfield. Those two guys take care of those things. So if we can have them for the year, they can be reasonable with maybe an option for next year, a manageable price, and they're both healthy. I'll take them both right now. No problem.
Do you guys like the Del Piero collection from Adidas that you put out?
Yes, I do like it. I wish there was a long sleeve pullover. As you can see, I love pullovers. So I need like a quality long sleeve pullover. But it's a nice collection.
Long sleeve pullover, a crew neck.
Yeah, whatever the hell you want to call it.
It's a crew neck sweater, and they have one.
Do they?
Yeah, I ordered it.
I think Cliff's
You
trying to get a
already
red
ordered
one.
it?
Yeah, the pre-sale was on like yesterday, bud.
Could you send it to me?
The shirt?
What is this?
When it comes in?
What the hell do you think this
No,
is?
no, don't send the link because I want to buy it.
Dude, it's right on the store. Pre-sale.
Oh, okay. I'll do that.
But yeah,
How much is it?
I actually It's Del Piero. It's ADP. So I'll tell you right now, I'm a goddamn sucker. Okay, like I'm an easy sell when it comes to Juve stuff, but like ADP is my favorite player ever. It just,
big time.
I'm gonna pick up a couple items because it's the Del Piero collection. Is it a cash grab from the team? 150%.
Hey, make that money. Make that money, baby.
That pre-match jersey is actually very, very damn interesting, and I ended up picking it up just because I was like, I gotta see this damn thing in person, and whatever. It's kind of funky. As a pre-match training top, I'll rock it. We'll have some fun. Which position in our team are you the most confident with? Hey, I like this question. Fullbacks, strikers, sixes. Personally, has to be our wingers. We are blessed with 3 great ones. Maybe another left winger for depth needed. What position are you the most confident with in our team right now? Great question.
Which position? As a whole? I mean, you can't really say wingers because there's separate left and right wingers, but I guess at this point in time, since he's now considered fit, I would say right wing just because you have a starter in Chico and then you also have a backup in Jigrova. So I guess I would say the right wing slash right center forward position because Yildiz on the left, you don't have another, like a true backup to him. So I would say the right wing, right center forward position.
Yeah. And Paulo?
I agree with Cliff. But unfortunately, I agree with Cliff because I'm not comfortable with anything we have. So we happen to have Baggy Pants Jagrova and Super Chico in one spot. So we're lucky. But unfortunately, that's as good as it gets for me.
All right. A lot of shouts for keepers. Most confidence in our keepers for position. I got to go with the attackers. I have confidence in them. I just think that there's a lot of shortcomings in the game and the system. And speaking of that, this next one, playing Locatelli and Coat Miners together will make our game too slow, in my opinion. I like Loca, but we only need one of that deep role. I actually disagree, and I think that the reason our game is slow is because lack of options. And this goes back to how I talk about the team moving up the pitch together and as a unit. The game gets a lot quicker when each guy that gets the ball down the line has an option of what to do with it. It's when these guys don't have those options that everything just slows right down to nothing, to sleepwalking. So I don't think that you can't play a fast game with those guys. And to be honest, we've seen this lineup with Coat Miners playing left center back and Locatelli here, and we've had some really good games in this past batch where we've got the 4 wins in. We had some good tempos through those games. Not consistently throughout the whole thing because we're still trying to grow as a team and get that chemistry up. But I don't think those 2 guys are why everything's slow. Stop abandoning. Stop bombing forward. Move up as a group, as a unit. It will be quicker. Trust me. Trust me. Why did Loca score the goal? Or Luis score the goal? Because he was open. Duh. Oh, boy, Adam. I'm going to let that one slide.
That's pretty good.
Not
That
bad.
was pretty good.
Not bad, man. Not bad. We're going to let that one fly. We're going to let that one
Ciao,
fly.
Cliff. Oh, Cliff was done.
I had to leave after that. That was terrible.
Big shout out for the super chat to Giuseppe, already gifted 5. All right, gets one in your prediction. 3-1. Yildiz scores in the first half, same as Bologna. Second half, Chico gets his goal. Then to seal the deal, Shigrova, Kosovian Tiger. Is that how you do? Is that how you say it?
I think he's a lion. I think he's a lion. I don't think he's a tiger.
I think he called himself a lion. Yet to face the
even
best defender.
Even though he doesn't have a mane, he has no hair.
If Milik is actually coming back, would you rather sell or keep him?
All I could say is if Milik scores a goal for Juve, do you know how ballistic the stadium is going to go if he scores?
Dude, everybody's going to be slapping each other thinking that they're still dreaming. Like, this guy's back all of a sudden.
And you know what's funny about the
Yeah.
Milik thing? If you look at his last year with Allegri, the last year he actually was seen in public, his numbers weren't bad. If you look at the amount of time he played and the number of games he started, which were few, and the number of games he came on in the last few minutes, I think he has something like 10 goals.
Yeah.
So if you want to look at his stats at the last year, they weren't bad considering how everybody else was dysfunctional offensively. So for whatever that's worth,
What
who
is your
knows?
opinion on rumor going on around David is transfer? He's not going anywhere.
No,
I'll tell you that right now.
no shot.
He ain't going anywhere. Are you going to the first game World Cup of Canada versus? I'll tell you right now. I have applied for the 3 Canadian games in Canada. 1 in Toronto, 2 in Vancouver, very close to my home.
Wow.
We'll see if I get them. We'll see if I get them. But if Italy qualified, for me, Italy Canada in a meaningful game, that's a bucket list thing for me. Like that's bucket
Oh
list
yeah,
shit. I'm going
unbelievable,
1000%. Come hell or
unbelievable.
high
Hmm.
water, if Italy's there, I will go watch the country I support because I reside in and my second love, second to Juve, the Azzurri.
Hmm.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
Yeah. All I
You
could
know,
say is, Al, after you saying that, I know who I'm asking for a loan if I ever need money.
easy Canadian supporter discount, man. We're Team Canada. The Canada Red their supply. We've applied. We've applied.
Okay.
Doesn't say. And also, buddy, there's resale. There's resale. There's ticket
Oh yeah,
exchange.
give me $5,000 for
If I
resale.
end up going to the one in Toronto, whatever, I'm obviously not going to go to the other two. Those ones will be
Oh, okay.
sold.
Okay,
Like,
got you.
come
Okay.
on, come on.
Okay.
But the question remains. Everyone's asking. It's like, who do you support? For me, it's very, 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 very simple. Number
It's
one,
Italy.
it's a win-win situation. But I support the Azzurri first, and the reason is because it's the football in the football world. And I get it. Marsh, the coach, he's like, oh, it's Canada. Come on, you guys. He knows this is going to be like a home game for the Azzurri. I fell in love with the game because of Roberto Baggio and Juventus. The Azzurri was a different love, but like also a strong love that came after that. But well before soccer, as we call it here, like became bigger and was always this thing that we wanted more out of here. All of us football fans wanted the Canadian game to develop better, and we had a lot of good talents. Like I could think of all these talents growing up that I was like, man, why are we not better? Like what is going on? But it's picking up steam. It's finally moving in the right direction. But for me, my heart would first be there. My heart would first be there with the Azzurri. Paolo, your feelings.
Well, as someone who moved to Canada when they were little, um, I remember being in Montreal, watching the Azzurri on TV, and hearing the commentator and watching the celebration of Paolo Rossi. And I remember with my name being very funny to a lot of Canadians where I was living, to hear my name being yelled out and celebrated, and seeing the Azzurri score and beat Germany. And Paolo being all over the TV was such a thrill for me. I felt, I immediately felt that that is why, that's the Italian in me, and that's what fills me with love for the Azzurri. So to see them, I would love it. I would certainly would.
Yeah. AJC meetup, Toronto, Canada
I'm
versus
coming to
Italy.
Canada. I'll come to
There we
Canada
go.
for that match.
I don't know if they're
If
going
I
to
go
let
to
you through the
Canada,
border
they
if
might not
you're
let me
seeing
back
red
in the
like you are
States.
today,
So.
man. You might have to take it easy. Take it easy. Don't worry, the Mets will pick somebody up. You guys, we had a lot of fun. Cliff,
Mhm.
absolute beauty. Great segment, by the way. Okay, Paolo's working on his, and we're going to have it the next time Paolo's on, all right? We're just fine-tuning, okay? But
Mhm.
you guys, absolute blast today. Never a dull moment around Juventus, okay? Chat, you guys are awesome. Drop a like. Everybody that's on X tuning in, head over to YouTube and subscribe so you're entered to win the third kit with Yildiz on the back, okay? Good luck, everybody. That's the December giveaway. Watch along in effect 20 minutes before kickoff. We will reconvene right here. And hopefully we've got a victory show tomorrow for the podcast. I got a full panel, all right? We got Mas and Omer set to join me. Let's make it a victory show, and let's give Bologna the day, all right? We'll reconvene in a few hours. Fino alla fine, Forza Juventus. Ciao tutti.